Hi guys, Ms. Prospect here. We're going to read this Who Would Win book, Killer Whales versus Great White Sharks. This is by Jerry Pelota, illustrated by Rob Bolster. I wanted to give you an idea of what an actual Who Would Win book looks like. So when you go to make your book, you can model it after the series here. Okay. You'll notice that there's a title page here, Who Would Win. It tells us what animals are fighting, killer whale versus great white shark. Gives us our byline, that's who wrote it and who illustrated it. That's going to be both you and your partner. Okay. On the inside, we've got our little title page here, same information. And then it starts telling us about the individuals. So, what would happen if a killer whale met up with a great white shark? What if they had a fight? Who do you think would win? And now we're going to learn some information about great white sharks, and killer whales. Scientific name of killer whale, Orcinus orca. Meet the killer whale, also known as an orca. It is a sea mammal. It breathes air through the blowhole on the top of its head. Just like you, killer whales have lungs. They hold their breath underwater. And then it gives us a little diagram, shows us the blowhole. Killer whale nicknames: blackfish, orca, sea wolf, and killer of whales. Okay, so that's their page. And then we're going to look at the great white sharks. The scientific name of great white shark is Carcharodon carcharias. Yeah, that's a mouthful. They meet the great white shark. It's a huge fish that can't survive out of the water. Sharks and other fish don't breathe air. Fish get oxygen from water that flows through their gills. And then we have a picture here. Like most sharks, the great white has 5 gill slits. Great white shark nicknames are Maneater, Tommy, White Pointer, and White Death. That's ominous. Okay, so it's given us some really good information about each of those 2 animals. Okay. The killer whale has a huge jaw full of about 50 teeth. The teeth can be almost 4 inches long. Did you know if the killer whale loses an adult tooth, it doesn't grow back? A killer whale tooth looks like this, and this is its actual size. Okay, so that's one of those adaptations that we were talking about before. It's one of those characteristics or traits that's going to help the organism survive. So now we're going to look at great white shark teeth. Okay. All right. A great white shark has a gigantic mouthful of several rows of razor sharp teeth. It's scary just to look at them. Did you know if a shark loses a tooth, another tooth takes its place? During a shark's life, it can lose more than 3,000 teeth. That's crazy. Okay, a great white shark tooth looks like this, and that's its actual size. Sorry, I'm going to adjust my computer here so I'm not falling off the screen because I have to read it sideways, and let me tell you, that's kind of difficult. All right, so now we're going to find some more information about great white sharks and killer whales. So, orcas, the difference between males and females. Okay, this might be one of those pages in your book where you talk about courtship. Okay, this is kind of similar to that. So, males. The killer whale's dorsal fin looks like these. On a male killer whale, the dorsal fin can be up to 6 feet tall. Killer whales can be found in all oceans. So we've got some very valuable information about the difference in males and females. You'll see that the male's dorsal fin can be up to 6 feet, whereas the female's dorsal fin is not as high, only about half as high. And then they told us some information about where they live, what oceans can we find these animals in. Okay, now we're going to learn some things about sharks. Male and female great white sharks have dorsal fins that look the same. Great white sharks are also found in all oceans. So, interesting little tidbit there about the sharks. And because the orcas, the killer whales, and the great white sharks are found in all oceans, there's a very realistic possibility that at some point in time they might meet. Because remember, the point of the book is they're going to have a fight, and who is going to win? All right, now we've got some general information about food chains or food webs going on for both the killer whale and the shark. Killer whales are meat eaters. Their favorite foods are seals and sea lions, but they also eat salmon and other fish. A killer whale was once seen grabbing a moose and a deer off the shoreline. Okay, that's nuts. The killer whale is king of the food chain. It has no natural enemies. I would say no natural predators. Okay. The ocean is more like a food web than a food chain. In the ocean, everything eats almost everything else. All right, now let's look at the shark. Great white sharks eat fish, but also have been known to eat seals, sea lions, and even sea turtles. Now and then they eat a few people. Okay, usually don't. Okay, they don't usually unless they feel threatened or they're confused and think that you're a big sea lion. A great white shark is also high on the food chain. It is the largest predatory fish. Tiny plankton is eaten by small fish. Small fish get eaten by bigger fish. Bigger fish get eaten by larger fish, and so on until you get to the great white shark. A male killer whale is bigger than a female killer whale. A female is about 4 feet shorter. Killer whales have bones. This is a killer whale skeleton right there. Okay. You'll see that males are almost the same size as a bust, real close to it. And females are a little bit shorter than that. The female great white shark is bigger than the male. Females are wider and about 3 feet longer. There you go. Great white sharks do not have bones. Shark skeletons are made of cartilage. Fill your own ear. It is made of cartilage. Look, no bones. All right, and you'll see that in the shark's case, the females are bigger than the males. Although they are huge, killer whales can jump completely out of the water. Did you know? Killer whales might jump for fun, to knock some whale lice off their skin, or to catch a fish or a seal. In a fight, who do you think would win, a killer whale or a great white shark? All right, now we're starting to talk. Okay, fight's imminent. It's coming. Who's going to win? Did you know great white sharks have been seen leaping into the air to catch a seal or a sea lion? Wow, great white sharks can jump completely out of the water too. So, look at the facts. Who do you think has an advantage? Who would win? They're given some of those characteristics that are going to play into this fight, okay? Those are those adaptations, just so you know. Like other sea mammals, killer whales have a horizontal tail. Did you know killer whales can swim with just their side fins, but their huge tail is used for speed and turning? A horizontal tail is a better design for diving and surfacing fast. Like other sharks, a great white shark has a vertical tail. Great white sharks and other fish use their tails for speed and steering. Sonar. Killer whales have no ears. They bounce sounds off of approaching fish. They use sonar to navigate, to locate other creatures in the ocean, and to find each other. They recognize echoes and other vibrations in the water. This is called echolocation. Bonus fact: sonar is an acronym: sound, navigation, and ranging. Did you know submarines also use sonar, but nature had it first? Bats use sonar too. Underwater, you look like this to a killer whale. It's kind of good to know. Smell. Did you know sharks can smell blood from 3 miles away? Underwater, the great white shark senses your electricity. Great white sharks have a keen sense of smell. They can also detect the electricity in fish and other animals. They can tell if you are nervous. And if I saw a great white shark, I would be really nervous. Killer whales are family-oriented. They live in groups called pods. Killer whale moms, dads, aunts, uncles, cousins, and kids eat, swim, and play together. They look out for each other. Okay, and that's another one of those communal living things where we talked about that as part of the communication that you learned about on Monday. Great white sharks are loners. 2 and 3 have been seen hunting as a team, but mostly they travel, hunt, and eat alone. Killer whales can stop swimming and tread water in one place. They can swim up to 30 miles per hour. In the ocean, that is fast. Did you know killer whales have smooth skin? Great white sharks never stop swimming. Seawater must flow through their gills so they can get oxygen. They cruise along at about 2 miles per hour, but speed up in bursts to 20 miles per hour. Bonus fact: great white sharks have rough skin. It is like sandpaper. Most fish have scales. Sharks have denticles. Denticles are like little tiny teeth on their skin. Close up of the denticles on a great white skin. And that's going to be... There we go. Ha! One of these days I'll master this backwards. All right. Killer whale brain. A killer whale's brain looks similar to a human brain, but it's 3 times larger. Killer whales are extremely intelligent. Human brain, killer whale brain. Great white shark brain. A great white shark does not have a round brain. It has different sections connected together. It is shaped like a letter Y. Scientists think every section is connected to a different sense. That's interesting. A killer whale can be captured, live in captivity, and trained to perform tricks. Killer whales are stars at aquariums and amusement parks, although that is something that they're really phasing out of a lot of different amusement parks where you're using them for entertainment. Great white sharks have never been able to survive long in captivity. Hollywood loves to make movies about them. Great white sharks are movie stars. Who would win? Now playing killer whale versus great white shark. Fun fact: Jaws is one of the most popular movies of all time. For years, moviegoers were afraid to swim at the beach. Everyone knows the music. Dun-dun, 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 dun-dun. So, what would happen if a killer whale and a great white shark met in the ocean? What if they were the same size? What if they were both hungry? What if they had a fight? Uh-oh. They are in the same place at the same time. They sense each other. There is intense competition in nature. They are each planning their attacks. Great white sharks like to attack from below. Killer whales like to attack from any side. They are getting closer. Then the fight happens. Crunch! The great white shark makes the first move. It tries to attack with its sharp teeth. The killer whale outsmarts the shark and bites it. 1, 2, 3 seconds. The fight is over. It is no contest. The ferocious great white shark doesn't know what hit it. The killer whale won today. What do you think will happen the next time a killer whale meets great white shark? Who would win? Do you think the shark can overcome a killer whale's superior intelligence? All right, so something to take note of here on this fight scene. It gave us a blow by blow, exactly what happened in the fight. Okay, who did what, when, where, how. And it told us who won, but it was not graphic. Okay, so keep all the gore to yourself and make sure that you tell us in your Who Would Win book who would win. Okay, for now, that's it on Who Would Win, Killer Whale versus Great White Shark.